All right, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day. One of my Ficus Microcarpa that I found at in the back of a nursery, kind of neglected. This is the only one that I've got that I've actually been able to keep together. I was trying to keep, I found 4 of them at the same time. I was trying to keep one of the other ones together, but it wound up rotting from the middle. So this is the only survivor of ones that I've left together. Not completely fused. There are some, holes in the trunk here. But for being a clump Banyan style, I think it's looking pretty good. I said I repotted it July 10th. It just so happens I picked a day to work on it. Today's November 10th, so it's been 4 months. I'll include the link to the repotting in the description. It's the first time it was been in anything but a training pot. I did leave plenty of leaves on there. Haven't touched it since. This is a good look at the front. And in that other video I even mentioned that there's some times from a distance that when I get it cleaned up, you'll see that actually looks like it could make a good front, but there's a lot of good scars. And then when it is cleaned up, and again from a distance, sometimes this side looks decent too, but it does have plenty of scars on this back side, where the front, most of them are covered up. And again, this is also that what I've been planning on for the front, so I'm still trying to work it that way. This thing held out great all the way through Hurricane Ian. As a matter of fact, when I came home the next day, it was just chaos all around this guy. And if I didn't know any better, I would have thought that this one spent the night inside, because or spent the day. Hurricane Ian was actually a daytime storm. It's all wet now from tropical storm to cold. It's a hurricane on the other coast, but tropical storm for us. But I'm gonna, since it's a little bit of a bigger tree than I usually work, I'm gonna try to do things a little bit differently. I kind of have it in my mind, broke up into I guess a good 4 sections. There's this lower trunk coming off here, and this cloud of foliage. And then there's a big trunk in the middle that kind of actually does point towards the backside, that I kind of also, that has a cloud. And then there's like a really small branch here just kind of coming up out of nowhere that's right in the same side. I definitely have to keep it. And then there's these 2 bigger trunks over here that kind of have 2 different levels of the foliage on there. But I'm going to start by going ahead and trying to work this side here. I have been letting this build up energy since July. It looks really good. I have no doubt that it's going to survive and everything. It will take a little bit longer to recover because the days are getting shorter. But keep in mind, I do live in South Florida, and even though we are heading into winter, it will all remain outside and get plenty more light than even your average grow light inside or anything. Even your better than average grow light inside. and there we go, all cleaned up. And then this one down here, when I started hitting with the Dremel, I noticed that it's kind of getting a bit rotten there. So I actually kind of dug it way out in there. Didn't really even find any live tissue, but there is live bark all around it. So I kind of actually made a little hole out of that. I'm hoping that just because of the size and the energy that this thing kind of puts out, that it'll just kind of finish enveloping that. I don't smell any rot or anything, so I don't think it's anything I need to be horribly concerned about yet. All right, kind of excited to get it wired up. I've been wiring it and kind of letting it rest, sporadically, and I think I've been timing it out fairly well. Already has, some decent ramification and movement to it. The idea is you're supposed to make it look like an old tree, and I do think once I kind of get this thing to where I start just working on nothing but leaf reduction, it really will. Right now, you can just still obviously see that it's been chopped back from a much bigger tree. All right, wires on there. Just a couple secondary branches that I didn't get any wire on, just simply because some of the flimsier ones, I did it on some of these, and as it becomes to where the branch is so small, you're almost wrapping the branch around the wire, and I broke so many of them as I was going through. I didn't want to lose too much of the secondary branches, or actually tertiary branches, some of them are. Hopefully it's not a mistake. I mean, part of having the wire on there is it constricts the growth, and then the spots you have wire on will be constricted, and then just if you have a couple smaller ones without the wire on it, there's a chance they might shoot way out. But of course, we're coming up on winter time anyway, and I'm sure I'll be doing a cleanup and a rewire in the spring. In the back side, I keep missing the back side by a bit there. Really look forward to see what this guy looks like in the spring.